You ready? Are you ready for this? I'm just kidding. It's an empty box. Can we all just agree that there is no better feeling than getting new gear? Like, there is a reason why unboxing videos are so popular on YouTube and everywhere. Like, it fills you with excitement. Is it just me? Is it just me? It could just be just me. Actually, it's probably just me. So you just bought a camera, and now you're looking at lenses, and you've got your eye on that shiny new 50mm f1.4, or maybe the 24-70 f2.8, and you know having that wide aperture is gonna get you creamy bokeh, and having a longer zoom is gonna get you more separation for the subject and the background, and it's gonna make your photos look so much better. But you look at the price tag, and it's $2,000. What do you do? Well, if you're fortunate enough to be able to afford photography as just a hobby, maybe you just decide to buy that lens anyway, because you know it's gonna be a lot of fun to use, you know the photos are gonna look awesome. But for a lot of new photographers, it's hard to justify spending that kind of money on a hobby, especially if you're younger, maybe you're in high school or college and you just don't have that kind of money, or you're just trying to be financially responsible, and spending $2,000, $3,000 on something that's just gonna be a hobby and isn't gonna earn you any money isn't the most financially responsible thing to do. So today I'm gonna talk about a few ways you can use your camera and even the photos that are just sitting on your hard drive to make a little bit of extra money and help you get towards being able to buy that shiny new lens or that brand new full frame camera that you really want. The first method is one that I've personally used to make a little bit of extra cash on the side, and that is selling old photos on stock photo websites like Shutterstock or Adobe Stock. If you're like me and you're a complete photo hoarder, you probably have hard drives filled with old photos. Since I've been taking photos, and since I realized how much I enjoy taking photos, I have not thrown away a single photo on purpose. I've had photos lost and deleted on accident and things like that, but I have archives filled with old photos, hundreds and hundreds of gigabytes of photos that I'm never gonna use, that I'm never gonna post, that I'm never gonna share, that I'm never really gonna do anything else with. A lot of these photos, while at the time when you were working on that project or working on editing a series of photos, you might not have thought these photos were good enough to make the final cut or to be used in a project. Maybe it's even video clips that you've shot for a video that you wound up not using for the video. But even though they weren't good enough for that project, they might be perfect for someone else's project. They might be perfect for someone's branding material or for someone's advertisements or for someone to use as a background on a website or B-roll that someone can use to fill empty space in their own projects. And there are people out there that will pay money to be able to license your photos and license your video clips and use them in their own projects. You never know who's gonna want to use your photos in their projects unless you put it out there. And the great thing about this method is that it's almost entirely passive. Once you've found the photos that you want to upload and once you've uploaded them to the stock photo websites, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to promote the photos, you don't have to advertise, you don't have to put any money out of pocket to start earning money on these photos. Places like Shutterstock will pay you anywhere from a few cents to a few dollars, maybe $5 or $10 per download, depending on the customer and what they're downloading it for, on if it's a photo or a video clip, on a number of factors, and each stock photo website is gonna have a different pay scale and a different way of paying you for your photos. But if you have a lot of photos lying around, while a few cents to a few dollars per download might not seem like a lot, over time that could equal a lot of money. And if you have a lot of photos, you never know which one of those is going to be super popular and it's going to get downloaded hundreds and thousands of times. So if you have photos lying around in an archive somewhere, it can't hurt you at all to upload them to a stock photo website, to find some tags and do a little bit of research up front and start uploading your photos and you never know, you might wind up with a super popular stock photo that gets downloaded thousands and thousands of times, and you can make some real significant money from it. Even if you don't, you could even just get a few bucks here and there, maybe 50 bucks one month, 100 bucks the next, and slowly over time it is gonna add up, and having a little bit of extra money come in can be super helpful in the long term, and just to help make life a little bit easier. And plus, you're not using those photos anyway, so you might as well get something from them. Another entirely passive and easy method that you can use to make money off of your old archived photos is print-on-demand websites. Print-on-demand websites such as Redbubble, Society6, Printify, and so many others allow you to use your photos on physical products and sell physical products without having to actually make any of those physical products or inventory any of those physical products yourself. Customers then go onto these websites and find unique products and designs that they love and purchase it, and then the company itself will print your photo on the product and do all the shipping and packaging for you while giving you a percentage of that sale. A lot of these print-on-demand websites, such as Redbubble, have a base cost that is how much it costs for them to produce it and how much money they need to earn per product, and you can set your profit margin on top of that, and you can keep the entirety of what profit margin you set. So if a phone case costs $10 and you set a 50% margin and charge customers $15 for it, every time that phone case sells with your design, you get $5 for every sale. And because these companies do all the production work for you, they do all of the shipping, they do all of the marketing, there is virtually no upfront cost to you. You can just take old photos from your archives or your favorite photos, or go out and shoot photos specifically for use on these products and sell them and still earn money on those photos without having to put any money up front for printers and shirts and stickers and cutting machines and packaging materials and all the other things that come with running a shipping business. Another great passive method that I've used personally is actually selling digital prints on Etsy. And while you may think of Etsy as places for like handcrafted jewelry and pottery and artwork, it's also a great place to sell photos. And a great passive way to earn a little bit of money selling photos on Etsy is actually to sell digital prints. So basically all you have to do is create a listing on Etsy for your photo or even a series of photos, upload the files of those photos to that Etsy listing and set it to a digital download. And then when customers come across your listing and they love your photo and decide to buy that photo, what they'll get is a downloadable file with all of your photos in there that they can then take to their local print shop, to an online retailer, and request a physical print at a slightly cheaper cost than buying a physical print direct from a photographer. Etsy is also a great place to list physical prints. People love going on Etsy to buy decorations and artwork for their walls, and physical prints and beautiful photographs is something that a lot of people want to have in their homes and on their walls. So you can list things like paper prints, metal, canvas prints, even acrylic prints, or any other medium that you want to print your photos on, and get it in front of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people who might be looking for beautiful photographs of national parks, of lakes, or of whatever your photographs consist of to put on their walls and in their home as home decor. Now, selling photos on Etsy is a lot more involved than some of the passive methods that we've talked about earlier. For one, it really helps if you research Etsy SEO, as well as Etsy keywords and how to best optimize your listing to be viewed by as many people as possible. It does also have some upfront costs. For one, Etsy has a very small listing fee per listing that will keep your listing active for a certain amount of time, and it does renew. It is only a few cents per listing, but if you have a lot of listings, it can actually add up to a decent amount of money that you have to pay on a recurring basis. And if you're selling physical prints on Etsy, you are going to have manufacturing costs as well. You may have to buy your canvas and metal prints from another printer. You may have to pay for paper prints as well, or you may have some upfront costs to buy a printer if you want to do that all yourself. Now, I personally also have an Etsy store where I do sell digital as well as physical prints, like the ones that you're seeing here. So if you're interested, if you want to see more of my work, I'll put a link below that you can check out my Etsy store and the prints that I offer. Even though running an Etsy store can have upfront costs, the benefit and the reward to you can be a lot more than some of the other methods that we talked about. For example, a large canvas print can often sell for $150, $200, $300 or more depending on the size. Metal prints a lot of times sell for even more than that, and people are willing to pay those premium prices for the more premium product. So rather than making just a few cents or a few bucks per sale passively, if you put in a little bit more effort, you could be making anywhere from $50 to a couple $100 per sale depending on what you are selling. Another great way to earn a little bit of extra cash from taking photos, as well as maybe even build up a portfolio of professional work, is to look for second shooter or assistant shooter opportunities. Specifically as a wedding photographer, I sometimes get couples that want me to hire a second photographer for their wedding. And whenever I get those couples, I go to Facebook groups that I'm a part of and see if anyone is available to be a second shooter for that day. A lot of times these second shooter opportunities don't require you to be super experienced, and they don't require you to have maybe an existing portfolio, so they can be a great opportunity to get your foot in the door for that first wedding, or for that first real estate shoot, or for that first portrait session. Whatever it is that you want to get into professionally, chances are there is a Facebook group for existing professionals in that field, in that type of photography. And if you can find a second shooter or an assistant opportunity, a lot of times the photographers have no problem with allowing you to keep some of the photos that you take for your own portfolio. That's a great way to get started. Especially for something like weddings, it's really hard to convince a couple to hire you for their wedding without seeing some wedding photos that you've taken in the past. Second shooter opportunities are a great way to get your foot in the door in the type of photography that you want to pursue, meet other professionals in that field, build that portfolio, and even see what the other professionals are doing in the field that you want to pursue. Alright guys, so those are some fun and easy ways to make a little bit of extra cash from your photos or from taking photos, and maybe even get you started on that path of becoming a professional photographer. I'd love to hear about your experiences as well. What are some ways that you guys have made money from your photography? If you're someone that has tried the methods that I talked about today, please leave a comment down below and let me know what your experiences are. If you have any suggestions for other ways that people can make money, please leave them down below as well. All right, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you loved it, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.